The road back home. The sun had just risen over the hills of Judea, casting golden light over the land of a wealthy farmer and his 2 sons. The younger son, restless and ambitious, looked out over the fields that stretched for miles. His heart was far away. He came to his father one morning and said, "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now." The father's eyes saddened, but he did not refuse. With a heavy heart, he divided his estate. The younger son gathered everything he owned, said farewell without looking back, and journeyed to a distant country. For a time, he lived in laughter and abundance. He spent freely, surrounded by friends who loved the sound of his coin more than the sound of his voice. The nights were filled with music, wine, and light. But the music faded, his gold turned to dust. When the money ran out, the friends disappeared. And then, a great famine swept through the land. The once proud son wandered the streets in hunger and shame. No one gave him food or shelter. In desperation, he found work feeding pigs, a task he never imagined doing. The stench filled his clothes, and hunger gnawed at his bones. One night, as he sat in the mud watching the pigs eat, a painful thought pierced his heart. Even my father's servants have bread enough and to spare, and here I am starving. He lifted his eyes to the sky and whispered, "I will go home. I will say, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me as one of your hired servants.'" So he rose and began the long journey home. Each step was heavy with regret. He replayed every mistake in his mind, wondering if his father would even look at him again. But while he was still far off, his father saw him. The old man had been watching the road every day since his son left, and when he saw that familiar figure in the distance, thin and weary but still his child, he ran. He ran down the road, his robe gathering dust, his heart pounding. When he reached his son, he threw his arms around him and wept. The son began to speak, his voice trembling. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father interrupted, shouting with joy, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. Prepare the fatted calf. Tonight we will feast, for my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." Music filled the house once more, but this time it came from love, not pride. Yet outside, the older brother stood apart. He had worked faithfully all those years and never left home. When he heard the music, he grew angry. "All this time I have served you," he said to his father, "and you never gave me a celebration like this. Yet for him, who wasted everything, you throw a feast." The father looked at him with the same love that welcomed the lost son. "My son," he said gently, "you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate, for your brother was lost and is found." The older brother said nothing, but as the music played, something softened in his heart. Inside, the father and the younger son embraced again under the glow of the lanterns. The road that led one son away had brought him back home, not to judgment, but to grace. Moral of the story: no matter how far we wander, the Father's arms are always open. Forgiveness is not earned, but freely given.